Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. The murder of Phoenix Netts. The 28-year-old has been identified as coming from the Birmingham area. She didn't live here originally, but at the time of her murder, she was in a woman's refuge in the Lozells area of the city. We are living in some really weird times right now. During this lockdown, coronavirus outbreak, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, a lot of the criminal justice system has transformed dramatically. Some murder cases are being seen and dealt with within 3 days. That is unheard of. So already this case has seen 2 people appear in court, one of them charged with murder and one of them charged with assisting an offender. As I reported initially, Phoenix Knight was dumped in the Forest of Dean. Her aunt is the only person that has actually spoken about her today. So I'm wondering if she had some distant family issues, if she wasn't in contact with her mum and dad. They said that her remains were charred and dismembered and found in 2 suitcases in the forest. They believe she was killed at the woman's refuge in Lozells in Birmingham, where she'd been living for a number of months. Her body was found in 2 suitcases in the Gloucestershire area, and now her aunt, Ana-Liliana Netts, 55, has told the newspapers about the horror of hearing about her niece's death. She said that she's shocked that she had died in such a horrific way, and she hadn't seen her since she was little, and she said that she was lovely and her father used to tell her how proud he was and how clever she was. So it seems like she didn't really have much of a relationship with her niece too, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. There's no good reason sometimes as to why families drift apart. But it seems this girl didn't have a lot of people around her at the time of her death. She said they haven't spoken since 2005, since her husband died, and they sort of drifted apart, as she says. She didn't know that Phoenix was living in Birmingham, and she did have another aunt in the area, Gary's sister. She also remembers her as a little girl, and she's so sorry that she died like this. So it seems that her family was very distant. She didn't even know where she was living. The woman that has been charged with her murder, Gareeca Gordon, 27 years old, was also living in the shared house in the Lozells area. She has been described as Jamaican heritage. She was sawn in half, they said. This then brings in a man they describe as a handyman, a man called Mahesh. He's 38 years old and he's from Wolverhampton, and he's been charged with assisting an offender. He's strangely a handyman, and it comes as the court heard that the woman accused of killing this woman and went to the Forest of Dean to dispose of the body. They heard that Mahesh, the man from Wolverhampton, who is also married as well, so I'm not sure how he's become involved in this whole situation, if there's another sort of thing that's been unravelled here, because they was caught by the police actually driving erratically down the road. Initially some reports said they was found with the suitcase, which they was, but they wasn't walking, they was driving. The court heard yesterday that on April the 12th, this is when it happened, they stopped the car because of COVID-19 regulations, and the police said the evidence and the smell of the suitcase was obvious. When they opened the suitcase, the police said it smelled like a barbecue, and the smell was sickening from the decomposition. They had no idea the contents of the suitcase in the back seat. Mahesh advertised himself as a driver and a handyman on Gumtree. On a few occasions, he'd done journeys where he'd been paid by Gareeca Gordon to take her to the Forest of Dean, he said. Mr. Justice Garnham has set a provisional date for the 10th of November. So it seems here that he's been brought into this by being hired off Gumtree. She hired him off Gumtree, that's his claim, and that's why he's been bailed from the looks of it. It's understood that Phoenix's last known whereabouts was in mid-April. Her phone, which has been unanswered, has since been disconnected since Tuesday. Her family said they are devastated by the death. The family said in a statement, and they want the privacy, so this seems that there is relatives out there, but the situation as to why she was living in a woman's refuge at the time of her death is not answered at the moment. Gareeca Gordon, who is a Jamaican national, was remanded in custody and charged with murder on May the 12th. The father of 2, Mahesh, 38 from Wolverhampton, was charged with assisting an offender. The council licensed property said by neighbours to be occupied by 4 women, is understood that Miss Netts was killed and dismembered there. They continued to analyse the scene for the 6th day in a row. The crime scene investigators were also seen checking wheelie bins, a bicycle and the back garden of the house. It's been reported the victim's body was sawn in half and found set on fire. She had previously been living in the North London area and went under an assumed name, so that means that her Phoenix was not her real name. A neighbour said that 5 women had been living at the property and only 4 in recent weeks. She said she was a white British woman living in the front room and definitely hadn't been there in the last month. She said that she saw Gareeca Gordon, the woman that's been charged with the murder, and said that she would ride a bicycle and locked it up outside the house, and said she was mixed race and she wasn't fat and she wore glasses. She said they didn't have a clue about the murder until the police turned up and the forensics was on the scene. They've been bringing out bags and bags and bags, they said. And this is what is confusing them, is they don't understand why. Another neighbour said that a lot of women come and go from the house, but it's a woman's refuge, so there is no men allowed. You hardly ever see men go in there, they said. They told that the victim lived in the house and they thought the girl who lived on the ground floor hadn't been seen for a while. One of the middle rooms, also believed to belong to Gareeca Gordon, is actually being concentrated in the search by the police. Forensics are taking photos outside of everything in the surrounding area, and this hasn't been discussed really at all. And like I said, due to lockdown, these cases are sort of being fast-tracked, so I'd hate to see things be missed out, or I wonder if in the future, if anything will be seen as a mistake. They've visited different locations in the area, and this is what it is that this guy has been lured into this by actually being ordered on Gumtree. Basically, this guy's got a nice family, a big house. He ordered his wife a Range Rover at Christmas, and it seems that he's in a happy marriage. And initially, this would have seemed maybe he was involved for other reasons, but now it's emerging that maybe he was just completely innocent. I thought this story was really important to discuss, and to be able to really pay respects to Phoenix Netts and the fact that she lost her life in such a horrendous way, with, again, not many people talking about it as I'd think would be. So I really want to hear what people have to say on this. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Please don't forget to check out our other videos online as well. Peace.